Yeah, I'm free! Free falling! Come on, man! Put your indicator on! What are you doing? Hurry up!
Davo! What's up?
I don't know, it never felt like this before. I apologize if I'm gonna too far.
Yeah, good day.
Can we just talk? Welcome to BYO Carpool Edition. Tonight, we thought we'd do something a little bit outside of the box or inside of the box and go for a drive. So, my name's Dave and I am joined in this special Carpool Edition by Deanna.
What's up?
And over there in the back, so far away from us yet so close, is Eamon.
Hey guys, how's it going?
While we've been in isolation or quarantined, we haven't had to really think too much about how do we greet people. But one thing now that schools are back and we're starting to see some more people, there is the option that we all have to make a handshake. So I thought, well, how can we do that in a COVID safe way? What are some handshake alternatives? So I reckon it'd be great if you guys could give us an example of some handshake alternatives right where you are right now in the car.
Yeah.
Now this also applies for outside of the car, okay? But number one is, well, you could just simply wave at the person.
It's like this.
Baymax.
Another handshake alternative is maybe you could do, for those of you who are Star Trek fans, you could do the live long and prosper hand signal. Can we all do that one? It's a bit tricky.
Bit sci-fi.
Bit tricky, live long and prosper. Another option is just to give them the good old peace sign. Make sure you got it the right way around.
That's Deanna's go-to.
That's my go-to, guys.
Go-to
If you're
peace.
doing it, you're coining me. You owe me money. Okay.
You can also tip your hat, if you got one.
I have one in the back here.
Oh, how convenient.
Nice.
Tip your hat. You could also give someone just a good old casual nod. There you go.
But you got to be gangster about it. So.
Just Deanna's so gangster.
I'm so gangster.
For those of you who are fans of The Office, there's always the option to do the Jim and Pam high five.
Ready?
And finally, but hey, this is quite a common one these days in the schoolyard, at least as far as I know. You can mime a fist bump, but don't get too close. And if you really want to just end it with a bit of expression, of course you explode that thing.
And then
Easy,
you end
right?
it with peace sign.
Yeah.
So there you go. Try some handshake alternatives this week, next week, this week, next week.
Any week.
Any
All
week,
the weeks.
all the weeks and the weekends, and there are some options for you. Well, we thought we would catch up with another one of our fantastic leaders here at Bracken Youth, and let's go and see what Isaac Mason has been doing. This is quarantine catch-ups.
Isaac.
Hi guys, this is Isaac here, and this is my car. It's very dirty. I mustn't have washed it very well last year, but let's go for a drive.
Hi, Sophie, are you ready?
I was just wondering how big your big brekkie burgers are.
How big it is?
Yeah.
Have you had a quarter pounder before?
Oh yeah.
It's that like same bun and the same beef patty
Yeah.
with like, you know, bacon, eggs,
Yeah,
sauce.
great.
Like a pretty filling.
That's great. Could I grab one of those in a meal? Could I grab it with a mocha?
A large mocha?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Was it just a full cream milk?
Yeah.
That's too easy. Would you like anything else?
That's all, thank you.
Just $1.90.
So what have I been doing during isolation? Well,
I've been doing a lot of uni work. Now uni is online now, so I've been doing that all in my room. I've also been doing my job. I work for a startup, which is really cool. I've been doing that in my room. And outside of that, I like to, in the little time I have, sit back, watch some Netflix, catch up with friends. And so far I've been doing that, well, in my room. So I guess I've spent isolation in my room. Yeah, so computers. One kind of cool thing I'm doing is I'm using something called machine learning to train a model to listen to a song and predict what genre of music it is. That's kind of cool. It really does depend on your definition of cool. Yeah. What's something I buy way more of than most people? It's funny, I go through phases. Right now it's pretzels. I love pretzels. If I don't have pretzels in my house, I'm actually going to be quite upset. But before it was like grain waves, but now if I have a grain wave, I'll kind of just do a bit of a vomit in my mouth, You just kind of get sick of things. It's funny how that works. If you have something like heaps of times every day, you get sick of it. That's interesting. Something I've never done, but I'd like to, is I've seen something called the sunset, which is where it goes from daytime to nighttime. Looks pretty good sometimes. But some people claim if you wake up at like 3 or 4 a.m. or something, I'm not sure, you'll see the opposite. You'll see the sun up, I think it's called. And that's where you actually see it go from nighttime to daytime. And I find that quite fascinating. I'd like to wake up early and see it at some point. I just haven't quite gotten around to it. I've just gotten home to my lovely home. Oh, lovely. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that thing in there. So see you guys, good to catch up.
So I'm going on a picnic and I'm bringing avocados.
Okay. Do I say I'm going on a picnic?
Yeah.
I'm going on a picnic. I'm bringing avocados and bananas.
Alright, I'm going on a picnic. I'm bringing avocados, bananas, and celery.
I'm going on a picnic and I'm bringing avocados, bananas, celery, and donuts.
I'm going on a picnic. I'm bringing avocados, bananas, celery, donuts, and eggplant.
I'm going on a picnic and I'm bringing avocados, bananas, celery, donuts, eggplant, and fish.
I'm going on a picnic and I'm bringing avocados, bananas, celery, donuts, eggplant,
Nice.
and fish, and grapes.
I'm going on a picnic and I'm going to bring apples, bananas, celery, donuts, eggplant, fish, and hummus.
With a side of grapes.
I missed one.
Fantastic.
And avocados. Oh, if you were to paint your house any colour, it wouldn't be that.
Savage.
I know.
Such a nice colour. Come on.
It's so bad. Who will paint your house like brown?
Cool. So we've been looking at Youth Alpha, and this week we're kind of asking a question that I think is a big question for a lot of us, no matter where we're at, in whatever stage we're at in life, and that is, how can I actually make the most of the rest of my life? It's a huge question. How can I make the most of the rest of my life? It's kind of like we have that YOLO idea, right? You get one shot at life. How do I make the absolute most out of it? And the stuff that's happened in the past, well, we can't really change that. So we've only got what's happening now and what we are looking forward into. So I've got a question for you guys. If you could actually go back in time, however long that is, maybe even if it was only yesterday, and give your past self some advice, what would you say? Let's start with you, Eamon.
For me, I guess I used to have a bit of worry especially when I was in high school. So I'd probably just reassure myself that everything's gonna work out. Everything's gonna work out all right in the end. It's gonna be all good.
Yeah. D.
I would say not to buy so many shoes. No.
Yes!
I probably would tell myself that
To not buy so many shoes.
to not buy. No, I don't know. Yeah, just to take it easy and chill out. I suppose.
Nice.
Oh yeah, sort of similar to Eamon, but I spent a lot of the younger years at high school worrying about fitting in a bunch, and then in grade 11 and 12 I just sort of flowed with wherever I wanted to go, and that turned out fine. I enjoyed school then.
Nice. So less fit, more flow.
Yeah.
I like it. Good answers. There's this verse in the book of Romans, and this guy Paul, he says to the people, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So it's kind of saying, don't let the world around you squeeze you into its mold. If you actually want new life in Jesus, in some sense you've got to be willing to be different. You know, we have so much pressure from the world around us to like the same things, to maybe talk the same way as other people talk at school, to do things even that might seem cool or that might be approved of by our friends. But here this guy Paul is saying, don't conform, actually live different. He's saying to kind of make a clean break from the past and start fresh. And that is a nerve-wracking thing, I reckon, for a lot of us, because change is a big thing and we often get nervous when it comes to change. So I want to ask you guys, how have you kind of felt pressured to fit in at times?
For me, I think just some of the, especially around sporting teams, some of the just the way that people talk and speak and act. I've sometimes felt pressured to sort of live the same way just because everyone else has been doing it that way. And so, yeah, I was talking a bit differently and living a bit differently. So that was just, that's been a bit tricky for me to figure out how I can, just live the way I usually live in a group where they don't also always live like that.
Fitting in. Yeah, I think a lot of the time I would definitely be, if someone suggested something, I would just basically do it. And I'd be like, yep, okay, that sounds good. Even if I felt really uncomfortable or whatever it may be. And that's something I really struggled with, just like, looking at other people and being like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But they weren't good ideas for me personally, and I just wanted to have a group of friends, you know. I put a group of friends over what it meant to truly be myself.
Yeah.
I think in high school there's a lot of pressure to fit into one group, but it's not always like that. You can just flow between and it doesn't really matter. And like Eamon said, there's a bunch of norms in a group that you don't really have to adhere to. So
so there's these pressures that we have in everyday life, and they are real things. We need to recognize that, and they can place a certain pressure on us to try and fit in. How do you guys feel about the idea that God's actually got a purpose for your life, that he's thought out and he knows what is going to come for you guys?
For me, that's actually been really impacting the last couple of weeks because, I've just been trying to sort out work and life, but it's so good to know that I just have this friend that has totally got his hand on my life, and that I can just go, it's already all sorted, you know, and that even through the pain or through bad times, that it's all for a purpose. And And that's really helpful to know that in the end I'll just be so happy, and that's one of God's promises for me and for my life.
Especially in like the recent months in quarantine, it's been easy to sort of stress over things and the future, but it's also a good time to just relax and see what else is happening. Go with the flow again.
No,
Yes. Yeah, for me, I think it's comforting for me to know that, like, no matter what I do, that, like, no matter how I try to change things or try to make things up, that God's got something set up and ready to go for me, and that if that, however that changes over time, that He's always guiding me and guiding how I live and the way I go about things. Very reassuring to me.
it's good. So it's kind of realizing that God's got a purpose for you, each one of you, each one of us, and that we can find our meaning for our life when we rest in Him and we give stuff over to Him. It's about saying, God, I give you everything. I trust you with everything, and I'm actually going to give this area of my life over to you. This really hard thing that I have that I don't want to kind of even let go of, I'm going to be willing to give that over to you. And when we do this, that's when we can discover what God's will is for our lives. Romans 12:2, it says, it's His good, pleasing, and perfect will. When we do this, when we give it over, everything to Him, we can discover life worth living in all of its fullness. Fortunately, we're about to go through the Macca's drive-through.
Unfortunately, Deanna's car tire popped.
Fortunately, fortunately, it was right in front of the ordering machine.
Unfortunately, I can't play the game. Hi, could I please get a flat, what size would you like?
Small.
A small flat white, 3 frozen Cokes, and a medium chips, please.
Sorry, yesterday.
Yeah, that's it, thank you. Thank you. Unfortunately. Hi. Good, thank you. No, sorry. It's just the flat white one. Yeah. Thank you so much. I was really rude to her, I felt.
No, you weren't rude to her.
I was just like, no. Where's the flat white?
Unfortunately, paper straws.
Thank you.
Yes, the environment.
Unfortunately, we just ended the game of Fortunately, Unfortunately.
Right.
See you, Pasco.
Have a good
Keep
one.
it with the flow, bro.
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness I can get back in the middle. Catch you guys.
Bye. Us.
See you, Eamon. See you, D.
See you later. Thanks for the Macca's.
You're welcome.
Cheers. Oh, thank God they're out of my car. Oh, they stink. Woo! Oh, I gotta grab something from my bag. It's not in there. Hang on. No! I'm so sorry.
Another one bites the dust.